Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Isis, Escape from Transylvania. The goddess next door and John Haynes must escape a horde of vampires on the hunt in this horror-filled Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Escape from Transylvania in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. One of my viewers was at a mall shopping and he saw a group of Afro-American Negro males wandering around, not going to buy anything or looking to go shop. They were just walking around this mall, and they were walking around this mall because they had nothing else to do. And as he saw this group of Afro-American Negro males just wandering around aimlessly, he then sent me an email asking me the question, are we going to see another Summer of the Savage? Now, when he references this Summer of the Savage, he's referencing two of my classic videos. The first classic video he is referencing is Negro Children of the Corn. And this was a video I made during the time of the riots in Baltimore over the death of Freddie Gray. Now, this Negro Children of the Corn video I made talked about the classic movie based on the Stephen King horror novel, Children of the Corn, and I talked about how these children who grew up in these single mother households eventually grew up like stalks with no leadership, no guidance, and no support, and this led to them becoming the Children of the Corn, who then, like the Children of the Corn in the horror movie, turned on the adults and then went to terrorize the community that they lived in, wreaking all sorts of havoc like those Negroes did in Baltimore over the death of Freddie Gray, a known drug dealer at the time. And that's why I called them the Negro Children of the Corn in that classic video. And I referenced how even some of my family members who worked in education were seeing these Negro Children of the Corn growing up like stalks and then turning on the adults and wreaking havoc in their communities. Now, a year later, I followed up that classic video, Negro Children of the Corn, with another classic video in the same vein of the horror movie, talking about Negro Children of the Corn 2, Summer of the Savage. Now, in the Summer of the Savage, I pondered the question, are things going to get worse? Because I predicted that things were going to get worse in the Afro-American Negro community, because almost every summer we always have some sort of violence, some sort of carnage, or some sort of riot in the black community. And when it came down to the Afro-American Negro, just like a clock is always right 2 times in a day if it's broken, the Afro-American Negro was right on the money. And we had Todd West at the time go out here and murder about 8 or 9 people, I believe, and he murdered all these people. And again, we had the Summer of the Savage going on with this Afro-American Negro wreaking havoc. Now, after I did Negro Children of the Corn 2, Summer of the Savage, things kind of cooled down a bit. And we haven't really heard much, havoc coming from this Afro-American Negro for a while. And this viewer, he was proposing, could we see another Summer of the Savage now that school is out and we have large groups of Afro-American Negroes running around in their community and just standing on outside of these Arab-owned stores where they get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go stand outside of an Arab-owned store until it closes at 11 o'clock at night. We have Afro-American Negroes walking around in the streets doing nothing all day. We have Afro-American Negroes standing outside of, again, Arab-owned stores, Chinese restaurants, pizza shops, and they're begging for change and begging for dollars. And what he's proposing is, could we see some sort of event pop off as related to the Afro-American Negro community? And could we see another Summer of the Savage? Well, I can't say that we're going to have another Summer of the Savage because it's just too early right now, but it could possibly happen that we might see another Summer of the Savage, because right here in New York City, we have this K2 going on, and we have a group of Afro-American Negroes out in Brooklyn around Myrtle Avenue. They're taking this K2 and they're passing out in the K2 alley, And that could lead to a Summer of the Savage type incident where we have like 15, 20, 25 of these Negroes, being hauled out on stretchers. Or we could have some of these Afro American Negroes, you know, they're standing outside one of these Arab owned stores at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they're fighting over who's going to get the next Little Debbie snack cake, or somebody tells them that they're not going to give them 50 cents, because I've seen that happen outside of these Arab owned stores. You people go into the store, and then you have these guys standing outside talking about, hey man, you got 50 cents? And then the guy just says he doesn't have it, and then this guy is all emotional, it's hot, and he wants to get violent with that guy, and something could happen. So again, it's a little too early to tell if there's going to be a Summer of the Savage as related to the Negro, but it's usually guaranteed that some sort of event is going to happen. And usually in the hotter months of the summer, we usually have something like these shootouts at the barbecue, because Afro American Negro is going to be fighting over the last piece of chicken, or he's going to be fighting over the last rib, or who ate the last bag of Dipsy Doodles. The Negro he's always going to fight over something, or who looked at light skinned Cherise first, or somebody bringing the girl over. We know the Negro is going to fight over one of these things at one of these events. And we always know that over the summer, usually we have one of these Afro American Negroes shot by one of these white cops. And that usually sets something off in the black community. So I can't say that there's going to be another Summer of the Savage in the black community, because it's, again, way too early to tell if there's going to be another Summer of the Savage. The last couple of summers, again, they've been pretty calm compared to the year with Freddie Gray, when we had the Negro Children of the Corn, and the year later where we had Todd West and these black people committing all these black on black crimes during the summer that no one wants to talk about. Now, when it comes down to that group of black males who were wandering around in that mall, there was some things that people could have done to help those young men. Because when it comes down to many of these males, again, they come from these single mother households, and many of these single mothers who were sitting there and working these jobs that were for these big time corporations, they could get their boy off the street by going and asking their bosses to give them a summer job. I mean, if the economy is booming like your President Trump says it's booming, then these boys really don't need to be on the street. We could be giving these boys some sort of job to do over the summer that could teach them some discipline, that could teach them some character, that could teach them some integrity, and they wouldn't be out here wreaking havoc and causing a possible Summer of the Savage, or participating in Summer of the Savage incidents like many of these Afro American Negro males have participated in the past. When it comes down to many of these black single mothers out here and many of these black parents out here, they can prevent a Summer of the Savage by going out here and getting their children involved in some sort of community activity or some sort of community group, because we have all these camps out here, we have all these community programs, and we have summer youth employment programs to get these young boys jobs. And again, many of these mothers who say that they have all these degrees and have all these big time jobs, they can use their influence and clout to get that young man a job and get him off the streets and have him do something over the time and make productive use of his time, other than getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go stand outside of an Arab-owned store and watch other people make money. And instead of watching that Arab man take his money and spend his money, or watch that Arab man make money off of people in his community, he could be out here making his own money in his own community. And that's what many of these black boys could be doing. And if these mothers really cared about their sons, they would be trying to help them find work on something at one of these jobs, whether it be fast food, or whether it be at one of these offices, or whether it be in one of these stores doing stock or something. Find them something to do with themselves other than trying to beat the latest Madden game or whatever game is out there and find them something constructive to do so that they're not sitting at home all day playing video games, bickering and arguing with another man online, or out here standing outside of another man's store watching him make money at his expense and wasting his valuable and precious time. Because when it comes down to many black boys, they don't understand the concept of time and they don't understand how precious time is, and that's why they're sitting around here wandering aimlessly instead of going out here and using their time constructively. Now, when it comes down to these black boys, they have to be taught how to use time constructively because time is very precious, and once you lose time, you can't get it back. And these guys who are wandering around here aimlessly, they're not understanding the value of their time. Instead of them just walking around this mall hanging out, they should have been at that mall applying for jobs and looking for jobs because that's a constructive use of time, and that shows that you value time in a way that's going to make you money. Either that or you go out here and try to create some sort of business venture or some sort of venture that will help you apply the use of your time constructively. And that's something that black boys need to start learning, is that they have to learn how to use their time as a resource and that they have to do things constructively with their time other than going out here, standing up in front of somebody's store or sitting there playing video games all day or bickering and arguing with another man online about his opinion. I believe that it's too early to say that there's a summer of the savage, but we can stop these summers from being so savage if many black people would take the time to take constructive action and do constructive things with their lives other than standing outside on a hot day and then waiting for trouble to happen to them. What many black boys need to understand is that this is their life, they get one life, and they have to see that their life is precious and do more constructive things with their lives than act like a group of dysfunctional Afro-American Negroes. Again, this is your life, it's yours, you get one, and it's precious, and that's why you need to find something constructive to do over the summer. Usually over the summer, that's when I'm writing stories and promoting books, and that's when I'm making efforts to reach more people during the summer. And that's what I do with my time during the summer, is I use my summers to build the SJS Direct imprint, create new publications, and then try to find ways to market and distribute those publications for the fall. And all the tools are in front of many of these boys to go out here and start their own thing, but they have to be able to understand the value of their time. And that's something black boys, again, need to understand, is how to use their time in a constructive way instead of going out here to waste their time just wandering around in some mall. You have all these great tools, you have all these great resources. Use those resources to go out here and bear some fruit and stop being a child of the corn and participating in a summer of the savage that goes out here and provides entertainment for white racists and proves all their stereotypes right about black men. No, go out here and use your summer and the time that's given to you, those 2 months, to go out here and build something constructive that will go out here and lay the foundation for your future. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of the SJS Direct publications that are free during the summer, you can click the link on Smashwords in the description box, or you can head over to Kindle and pick up many of those books on Kindle Unlimited. And the Kindle Unlimited books you can read for free with a Kindle Unlimited subscription, but I provide lots of great books over the summer that young boys can read, and that's one of the things that I do to encourage kids during the summer, is encourage them to go out here and read on the regular, because when you read during the summer, it opens your mind and enables you to start taking constructive action to take your life to the next level. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Essential, The Devil's Dealer, which is a turning point in our life. powerful E-Steam series story. Get E-Steam Ascension at online booksellers today.